Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Luland. It's been a while since I talked about anything on YouTube, and it hasn't been a while since I've been on Twitter looking at crazy stuff that just pops on my timeline. I have a Twitter now, so follow me real quick. And that's the only thing I'll plug for now. Let's get straight into wild things I've seen on Twitter. I don't know what I'll call this, maybe something like that, but I've been seeing all these crazy videos pop up on my timeline, and I just want to discuss them with you today. You know, maybe a quick little video, but let's take a look at some of my bookmarks on Twitter, or X. And also comment, do you call it X? I call it Twitter. Twitter's way better. I don't know why they ditched the bird theme. You know, we're not tweeting anymore. You can have long tweets. Yeah, I can't, because I'm not going to pay. So, why'd you take my bird away? Anyway, also fun fact, they got all these fun words for single old women in China.
And in China, if you're a woman, single, and over 30, you are called 剩女, which means leftover woman in Mandarin. In Cantonese, you are called 攞底橙, 賣剩蔗, and 攝做辣, which means orange at the bottom of the basket, the sugar cane that didn't get sold, and the thing used for filling the gap of the stove.
The last one's kind of crazy, but why do you think they call them that? Single women over 30 in China. I think anyone with a brain could put that one together, but shout out to all the women though. Definitely don't think of the ones in America like that, not at all. Anyway, look what this silly guy did. Good, wholesome, silly goosery with the family. What's next? Okay. Runway or museum? This is simply a work of art. Look at this outfit. What could that possibly be? I wonder what it's made of. It looks gelatinous. And is it a dress? Look at where her feet are. Her kicking this thing. That looks so annoying. So impractical. No one's ever gonna wear that. Hey, fashion designer who made this, like, I don't even know what to call this. This gelatinous ass, kind of looks like a pile of tires, but also like a black jello, like a blackberry jello looking ass dress. Who's gonna wear that? I'll tell you who. Pedophiles. The elites. The kind that go to islands. And I can't think of anyone else who would want to be doing all that bullshit. I wouldn't. Anyway. Myron Gaines says, I grew up under Clinton, Bush, Obama, all very serious, professional, yet boring. Trump is something else. Our sitting president is trolling Democrats on social media while the government is in shutdown. We went from respectful, boring debates to a guy saying they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, and then he closes by saying, hate or love will never get a president this entertaining ever again. I hope that's not true, but it probably looks like. Not to get political, but I'm just saying the president is funny. I replied to some guy that said something about, oh, it's time to be serious. Oh, with everything going on in the country, like some silly Democrat. Everything going on in the country, we gotta be serious. Wow, the government shut down. These people are crying for, the immigrants are crying for insulin or something like that. I don't even know why the government shut down, really, but it's like, and I replied something to the along the lines of, dude, the president can't be a serious president, or like, he can't be seriously the best man for the job, the best man for our country rather, if he's not funny, if he doesn't have a sense of humor. no one would like him at all. I mean, not that there were many other funny presidents, but like Barack Obama got elected because he was black, but also because he was like a statesman. You know, he could speak well, he kind of relate to the people, and it was kind of funny. He was like, you know, there were clips of him playing basketball during the campaign, and you know, all the brothers and the basketball players were like, "Oh, hey man, yeah, that's you just like me," or whatever they said. But I didn't say that. I don't know what that's like, but the president's got to be relatable to win the election, and humor is a great way to appeal to people. That's part of why I'm a comedian on the internet, right? I don't have too many friends. I'd like to make some more, so hopefully, you know, you're enjoying the jokes I have in store, the ones I've said before, and the ones that will follow. I also just can't stop making videos and thinking funny thoughts about funny things I see on the internet. So like the video, and it's just going to get funnier. Anyway, a funny president's a net benefit for the country. That's all I'm saying. And for the world, I think. Anyway, Black Country says, this is why businesses say you can only use restrooms if you a paying customer. This is why outhouses and porta potties were created. You can't have anything nice or convenient because they still going to shit like a wet dog. And in response to this clip where a woman walks into the store and takes a dump in front of the clerk. Look at this. Only a woman too. Look at this.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
She's like, what the fuck is
We've got millions of free child place holidays available.
And I take it this woman's staring at her while she's doing this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Like what?
No.
I don't know how long that's gonna be on YouTube, but I'm gonna give it a try. And if you end up watching this video and then later on you go, oh my god, that was so funny. Yo, friend of mine, come see this Lou Runs video where this woman's shitting in the middle of a store on Twitter and you can't see it, go to my Rumble and it'll be there. I mean, what do we have to say about this, folks? We live in a world where I see two things immediately. There's a woman working the counter in this establishment, which maybe isn't optimal, but that's not that bad. In the 21st century, we got women in the workplace, that's okay. But then we have a woman coming in, shitting and leaving, right on the floor, not in the restroom. Now, wait, this woman was saying something about, this is why businesses say you can only use the restroom. If you're paying attention. Yeah, I don't even know how that really relates, because I thought she was going to say, it'd be one thing if she did this in the restroom and made a mess, right? Because then it'd be like, less people would do that if they were also a patron of the restaurant, because they would want to come back and they wouldn't want to get kicked out and they would want to behave. This woman wasn't a customer and didn't use the restroom. Like, even if that restaurant said you have to be a customer to use the restroom, do you think that's why this woman did this? Do you think she'd come into this restaurant trying to use the restroom before and they turned her away because she didn't want to pay for anything? And then she just said, fuck it, I'm going to shit there next time anyway. I don't know, but I noticed that she's a woman. Okay? And I'm not going to lie, I've seen clips of men doing something similar. In my hometown, in Ithaca, New York, if you've ever been there in the past few years, you've probably seen a homeless person or two. I saw a clip of a homeless man ass naked, and I'm pretty sure he shit outside the McDonald's. Now, that's bad too, okay? Anyone obviously coming into a restaurant, shitting and leaving, they're nuts. Why are they doing that? Could be a lot of reasons, but it's out of line. But what's even more out of line, in my opinion, is that poor girl at the counter just kind of had to watch. I mean, it looked like she just went, maybe called her manager. And you know, I've never been in that position myself, so I can't say for sure I wouldn't do the same thing. But I can say for sure, I wouldn't do the same thing. I would have shamed the shit out of that woman. Well, I would have tried to shame her out of the establishment, as soon as I saw her squat with the toilet paper in her hand, I think I could have put together what might be happening. And as unbelievable as it would have been, I would have immediately walked around the counter and gone, listen, ma'am, you don't need to do this. It might as well be like if she walked in there with a gun to her head. No, I mean, I would have done, that would be different. But, I mean, I would like to think I would go, yo, you got to get out of here. And it's tough because no one wants to touch a woman these days, but like my immediate response in my head that I feel like would be appropriate was, you see someone squatting, you come around the counter, you go, are you shitting me? You're shitting in my restaurant? And then if they don't respond or they don't get up and say, yeah, no, I'm just kidding, I'm not going to shit, I was just joking, then I'd laugh. But if that didn't happen, I'd go, get the fuck out of here. And if they didn't get up at that point, I would pick them up. I'd put my hands on them. I'd pick them up and I'd throw them out of my establishment, just like how the president's going to throw these immigrants out of our country. Because, right, I don't want someone shitting in my restaurant. Get the fuck out of here. Like a bouncer. But I guess you see the common man, the common employee, the common woman who works in a restaurant, they can't just do that. You can't just put hands on someone. My body, my choice. You know, you can't touch women or whatever. So, what, you just have to let them shit in your store? Let me know what you'd do in that situation, right? Because do you not feel me? This is an interesting world we live in where I can't think of the ideal thing to do. Like, say that's like a little coffee shop or a restaurant. You probably don't have security or someone who's like allowed to just put hands on somebody who's acting crazy. Who, I think if someone's just shitting in a public place, they deserve to get their ass whooped. Not saying I'd want to whoop their ass, but I definitely want to toss them out of the restaurant, out of the establishment, and go, don't come back. And then if they come back in, then I'd want to whoop their ass. In a perfect world, I think that'd be allowed. Maybe that is allowed. It's private property. Would that be, I think depending on the state, that would be, you might get a criminal charge, but let me know what you think. And yeah, it just makes you think, right? Like, what kind of world are we living in? What made this person feel like they just had to take a shit? They're probably insane, but what if that's a person that normally, they're walking amongst you and I, they're just going to work, they're doing their thing. What if that's a normal person and for whatever reason something made them snap and shit in a... Anyway, that's how my brain works. I'm thinking about stuff like that. Anyway, not to keep it too shitty. Now we've got another person complaining about another woman doing something crazy in another store. This is why you have to scan your membership card at Costco. This is why they removed the onion and relish dispenser at Costco food court. So I guess Costco is a food court where you could just eat. And they got a beverage machine, classic fountain machine. This is why Costco should raise its membership fee. You can't have anything nice or convenient. So this woman she's got a 2-liter that she brought and a Gatorade. We just won the game. Let's dunk all the Gatorade on the Coach Gatorade container. And she's filling the enormous Gatorade container with soda from the soda machine. And I also noticed she's a black woman. So this black woman is gaming the system, right? Apparently she's got a Costco membership. She plays it fat. She pays a flat rate per month to get cheap groceries. I have this at BJ's Wholesale Club. It's great. At BJ's they don't have a soda machine because people would probably be doing that too, maybe. But I don't know if BJ's ever had a food court like that, but Costco they do. And this woman, this chocolate lady, is just absolutely stealing from the soda. You can't do that. Okay, there's a reason at 7-Eleven back in the day they used to have a bring your own cup day, one day a year, where they said, hey, it's like a holiday, you bring your own container, any container, you can fill it up with a Slurpee, slushy. And then they made it so you were allowed to do that one day. It's like the purge. One day you get it out of your system, you drink all the Slurpee, and you get sick for months, and then hopefully by the time you're not sick, it's been a year, and then you can come back and do it again or whatever. But yeah, I think they did that because that's not allowed typically. That's why they had to designate a day for it, because otherwise the soda, the 7-Eleven would just bleed money because they're losing so much soda. They got to keep buying soda because these fat fucks that drink soda out of Gatorade containers that just have if you just have soda in your house, I'm guessing you're a fat fuck, or you're gonna be one soon. And if none of those apply to you, I take it you get sick sometimes. Me, I never get sick. All I drink is water. Look what's on my desk, okay? Every day, 20 waters or so. That's what I drink, okay? And coffee, obviously, but that's about it. Because I like living. I'm gonna live a long time, 150, 200 years, something like that at least. So I can't be, overdosing on sugar. Sugar will take you out. So consider that if you're drinking soda. But also, if you're stealing soda, you're a fucking loser. Because then you're unhealthy and you're poor. Because if you had money, you could just buy soda like a normal person. Like an American that deserves to be in this country. Not that we should deport everyone who steals, but I mean, you know what? We've never tried it. Have we ever lived in America where we deport everyone who steals? Why don't we try it? No, I mean, wait till I run for president. No, but I'm just saying, this is what happens when you don't have God in your life. When you don't have a good relationship with the Lord. I did it when I was a kid. I wasn't really reading the Bible as much. I wasn't praying as much. I was sometimes. I'm still a Christian, but I was also stealing from Wegmans. Shout out to William Wegman and the great Wegmans franchise. Really great store and pretty great security at the time. I didn't notice the security until it was too late. But we were stealing from the store for like a month, me and a buddy of mine, and then eventually they caught us because we were on camera every time. We were just running out. I mean, we were walking out, and then the security was all old, and eventually someone made a mistake and got caught, and it wasn't me, and they led to my getting caught. So they snitched on me. Anyway, but I didn't do it again since, because when I'm talking to the cops, talking about, I'm really sorry. Don't make me go to court. I'm just a boy. I'm just on the track team. Come on, I want to go to college. They kind of slapped us on the wrist and let us go. But that's what happens when you don't have a criminal record. But what am I saying? Oh yeah, that's not right. Hello. Important part of the message here. Don't steal. Thou shalt not steal. It says in the Bible for a reason. Because typically, just, without God's wrath, what happens when you steal from a man? And then he'll get upset and he'll come and whoop your ass. Or he'll come and steal from you because you stole from him and you have his stuff, so he's going to steal his stuff back from you. And he might just steal some of your stuff that he wasn't going to steal. But he said, fuck it, he stole from me, I'll steal from him. So what? Or worse, you might get hurt, you might die, right? So don't steal. Obviously, stealing from a store, no one's going to kill you, but you might get arrested. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it so that your fucking a million kids can have jugs of soda on hand so they can all get diabetes by the time they're 12? Come on, black woman. Come on, anyone who's stealing from the store. Stealing soda from a store? At least steal something good! Anyway. Okay, the only way to talk to a corrupt school board. This is getting kind of intense, but...
Old son was deaf. Now that you're done jerking each other off with a bunch of trophies and participation certificates, here's the truth. You guys don't care about the disabled kids because my disabled son was deaf. You put him in with a bunch of disruptive kids. There was no sign language interpreter, no instruction for sign language. He came home crying from Bester Elementary School every single day he went there because he got into fights with kids who didn't understand him because he was deaf. He couldn't talk. He couldn't sign. You guys left him there. No child left behind my... You didn't want to give up the funding you get from federal and local, so you didn't allow him to get transferred until I came in and went psychotic.
Mr.
Discrimination.
Porter, would you please refrain from using profanity?
You worthless fucking
Okay.
You tortured my disabled son, and you will answer for it in a court of law. People like you hamstring their abilities to teach children like mine. You're a fucking disgrace. Fuck you. Have a good day. Have a good day.
He's blurred out there because his shirt said "fuck the school board," and I'd feel that way too if they did my son dirty. Which brings me to my next talking point here. Public school is a scam. When I was younger, I thought it was great. High school, a lot of fun. You end up getting cool sweaters if you can do a sport or something cool. You might just win a sweater when your team wins or whatever. You might make a lot of friends on the track team. But then I went to college and that was really rough. And I really wanted to finish. I tried to finish. I did 4 years. I still had one more to go, and I just couldn't do it. I had to leave. After a certain point, I was like, this just isn't working, bro. But I gave it a try. But I figured college is a scam. I was studying business. I dropped out, immediately started a business, no degree. So definitely for studying business. If you want to be a doctor, maybe different story. But I still think, I don't know. I don't know how to be a doctor without a degree, so I don't have all the answers, but I feel like college is a scam in general. But also, now, in my wise old age, 28, I think just school in general is a scam. Public school, anyway. You see what they're doing in schools. They're not even taking care of the deaf, okay? And they got you know, these upset parents coming in, using profanity, upset of how bad they're doing. And I also notice the director here, whoever this guy's addressing, who works for the school board, she's a big fat woman. So what's that have to say for, you know, the culture of excellence? You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was at Ithaca High School, I had some shirts that said culture of excellence, because that's what, you know, they were striving for, excellence. I feel like schools nowadays, they don't strive for excellence. And my school probably wasn't the best around, but it was decent. I graduated. They led someone like me to get a diploma, and I wasn't a great student in high school either. I was alright, but I was also doing a lot of other shit that, you know, made it hard to graduate. But I'm just saying, there's nothing excellent about school today. Everything I hear about school today, it's some bullshit. They're not caring about deaf people. They're letting boys in the girls' locker room in high school. I see a thing. What's it? Let me find this other thing. Look at this. How about this one? Girls at this high school are staging walkouts due to the girls allowing biological boys in their bathrooms. And this chick just said, like, you know, we don't have to play it, but this girl was saying she saw a penis in the bathroom, or she saw a man in the bathroom. She knew had penis, and she goes, what the fuck? And they're like, oh, I'm transgender. I'm a woman. I identify as a woman. So then she goes to complain to a teacher or something. And then the teacher said, oh, yeah, we'll look into it. And then the principal or whoever, you know, followed up was like, oh, you know, actually that student's allowed to use the women's restroom, even though they're a man. Even though they have a penis, a big schlong, they got a fucking... That can't be in the girls' restroom. What are we doing? What are we doing, folks? You know what we're not doing in Luland? Calling men women. Letting boys be girls, alright? That's just what I'm about, alright? No disrespect if you believe otherwise, but there is distrust, and check this out. You're born one way, alright? And the fact that schools are not maintaining that belief, which has been a thing that's been a norm for thousands of years. All the years except the past like 5 years. We've recognized men and women. That's why there's signs on the bathrooms. And now the school board is feeling pressured, you know, by all these leftists. And, you know, schools are funded by, you know, probably leftist organizations typically, but... And so they're letting people go into whatever restrooms, and the girls are feeling uncomfortable. And I think good on the girls that they're not comfortable being in school, or they need to be in the restroom with boys. Get the fuck out of school. Get the fuck out of school. Because what are you learning? What are you learning in a place where the administration, the authority figures, the people you're supposed to be learning from, are defying biological reality? So maybe I'll just leave it there. Okay, that's an important topic to consider, I think. And those are just a couple examples, okay? Maybe I'll do this again. Let me know, comment if you want to hear more about this bullshit that happens in schools. But before I was even on Twitter, I was hearing about this stuff, and I'm trying to remember what the first thing was that made me think. It was probably the school shoot, just one of these school shootings happened, and I was like, bro, my kids will never have to worry about that. Being in a gun-free zone, when kids come to school with guns, how the fuck is that supposed to work? Another dumb liberal myth. Oh, gun control. Let's take all the guns. Let's make the guns illegal. That way, no one will get shot. Oh yeah? How about the only people who will get shot are the people who are the perceived adversaries of the crazy people who want to shoot. Someone who's going to shoot someone for no reason doesn't care about a sign at a school that says, no guns. Better not have a gun in your backpack. Like, bro, you need a gun for that. You need a gun to exterminate that person. They you know, we shouldn't play God and kill each other. No one should kill each other. But some people are just fucking crazy, and they're gonna try to kill people. And in an ideal society, in my opinion, my humble opinion, let me know if you agree or disagree, but you might agree that you know, when you in society, when there's a person that is apparently gonna kill somebody, they pull a gun out in a school. Ideally, someone in that school who actually wants to protect the children, okay, from maybe men and women's bathrooms, or someone shooting up the school. In this case, it's someone shooting up the school. If they see a kid with a gun whip out in the cafeteria, ideally, they have a gun, they know how to use it, and they whip out and shoot them faster. But what do I know? I'm just a guy. I'm just an unemployed guy dropped out of college. And fortunately, my high school never got shot up. But I would love, if someone ever whipped out a gun in my high school, man, I would have been praying that one of those teachers had a gun. One of those security guards have a gun, and guess what? None of them did. Sometimes there was police in my school, a couple times a year, and why were they there? To steal weed out of students' backpacks. They do a fire drill all day, every class, fire drill, 20 minutes long, and they'd go in there with the dogs, and they'd jack weed or whatever they could find out of everyone's locker. Very clever little game. But other than that, there were never guys with guns in my high school. Thank God nobody shot it up. Everyone was busy getting high. So, anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Love you. Oh, also, Shop Blue stuff. This is how I fund the channel. I'll be able to maybe talk about stuff on my Twitter from an island later, or from a tree house I could build if I had some more money, or something like that. So perhaps some of these clothes I have lying around, all these damn sneakers, could interest you if you wear a similar size to Lou. Take a look. If you like anything, shop on my Depop. And I love you. Jesus does too. Stick to what's right. You know what's right. You know the truth deep down. Don't run from the truth. You run from the truth, you get people in the wrong restrooms. You get fucking kids unsafe at schools. You get all this other bullshit. You get people shitting on the floor in a restaurant because they're avoiding the truth, which is you shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So trust God if you don't know what to do. Start there, and it'll make it much easier. Everything else, he'll give you a way to deal with all that other shit. Anyway, love you. Bye.